She's a problem no one wants to disown. And the goddess sure enough likes the bone. Like a man with no pantyhose. Cocaine up her nose. And your tongue ran down her throat. God sure loves the bone. But she don't wear no clothes. Like a man out pantyhose. And the goddess knows how to bone. Telephone cord wrapped around the throat. And the tongue wrapped around your toes. And you know you do what you don't. You should go where you want. Cause no one wants to disown. She can't be left alone. With the cocaine up her nose. And your tongue shoved down her throat. God sure loves the bone. She do what young girls don't. And she can't be left alone. And the problem that no one wants to disown. With the tongue rammed down your throat. And the cocaine up your nose. Cause do what you don't. You will if you won't. Cause you love the bone. And she loves it, oh no. She do what you don't. She do what every one girl will want. With the cocaine up her nose. And she don't wear no pantyhose. God sure love the bone. Down like a ghost. Oh, no one wants to disown. Probably God is never alone. But the girl and the boy that she don't know. And she likes the telephone cord wrapped around her throat. She will what you want. She'll do what young girls don't. She won't wear no pantyhose. And she likes your tongue rammed down your throat. With telephone cord wrapped around her throat. She do what young girls don't. God sure love the bone. And it's like a micromanage. She don't wear no pantyhose. She will do what you want. And do it cause she's already grown. Cause she's a found like a ghost. And she sure loves the bone. The poison within is not a poison without. And deadly and deadly does drifting through their own 14 cloud. How is that hatred rules us now? The cancer of northern zodiacal constellation between Gemini and Leo, or the fourth sign of the zodiac in astrology. With the cancer you see in your nostril. Yo. Poison without is the poison within. And now you know that you pay for your sin. Poison without is the poison within. And always me that's gonna pay for your sin. Drifting through the unconscious cloud. And how is it that hatred rules us now? I know that the devil is proud. I know that you're exponentially loud. Cancer, a northern zodiacal constellation between the Gemini and Leo. The fourth sign of the zodiac. Astrology, but you're not coming down, you see. overload. Something takes it down, the TF overload. Poison within, another poison with. And deadly as the dollar does, drifting through that unforeseen cloud. How is the cancer rules us somehow? How is the hatred rules us now? And the northern constellations between Gemini and Leo, the fourth sign of the zodiac. You're gonna pay for your soul. Do you still have control? The dirty, dirty hole. Anchor is the best way to make a podcast. This is Josephine Electric, the lead singer of Family Electric Ghost. Anchor gives you everything you need in one place for free, which you can use right from your phone or computer. Creation tools allow you to record your podcast so it sounds great. So distribute your podcast so you can be heard everywhere. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and many, many more. You can easily make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. Now, you should go right now and download the Anchor app or go to Anchor FM to get started. This again is Josephine Electric, and Anchor FM is the best way to do your podcast. Hope you join us out there in the podcast blogosphere, and we look forward to listening to your cool tunes and tones. This is Josephine Electric from Family Electric Ghost, and we're going to talk about some of our latest tracks that we get into that alpha dominatrix scene that I'm in. So we've got a new playlist that we're calling 25 Wild and a Freak, and starts off with the track 25 Wild and a Freak. And this song is kind of dedicated to a total reckless individual that we knew that was just as fervent in their decadence and into everything in the scene. And not that there's anything wrong with it, because I'm a freak of the world every day of the week. So this song was pretty interesting because it just kind of comes together when we start to play with our analog gear. A lot of times, the Moog DFAM continually gives us all kinds of new ideas. We just always get inspired every time we turn it on, and it turns us on. So this song was playing with just the nature of the DFAM, and it's not like any other drum machine. I think we talked about it before. You are able to use subtractive synthesis and control voltage overrides on the patch bay to create beats. The beats are created through analog circuitry and subtractive synthesis techniques like LFOs and frequency modulation. And it's not really based on tapping. You're not really going to do well on the DFAM as a drum tapper because there's no MIDI control. It's all based on pitch and velocity and the waveforms that you're using and the way you modulate it. So this song was very powerful for us. We enjoyed it. We got it on its own playlist. The other song we did is a pretty rough song. It's a diss track. It's TBWTCDHT. We're not going to get into it, but anybody figures it out. It was a pretty brutal diss track. And that song was it's interesting because it's kind of got this jazz piano to it, and then it's got my rough diss lyrics, and we're using the VT3 on that one, and it's not as clear as the VT4, but it has some aspects that we like to use from time to time. Then Fetish Telephone Don't Hang Up, again, is a kind of fetish about being on the phone or using the phone cord as autoerotica and getting into that real tight alpha dominant sex I'm into. Then the last song switches gears and goes into a collection of poetry that Phantom put out called Cancer. And Cancer, he actually took a poem from Cancer called Poison. And that Poison poem
It's pretty interesting. Let me get it for a second. Wasn't as prepared as they need to be. So let me read from the original poem, which was written back in '95. And we've gone into this collection a bunch of times to do different stuff. Um, so we'll get to the poem as I try to find the page it's on. It's part of the macrocosm poems. So the book Cancer was divided in two sections. One of them macrocosm, the other one microcosm. And then we also took uh, the header or the title page for microcosm and mixed it with the macrocosm. So it's kind of weird. But the actual poem said, "The poison within is now the poison without, and deadly is as deadly does, drifting through an unseen cancerous cloud. How is it that hatred rules us now?" Now, for the song, we added additional lyrics and changed when we come in with some of the lines, which is the nature of taking a poem and turning it into a song. You kind of take what works in poetry doesn't always work with the meter and the beat of a song, so you adjust it. So that's what we did with that track. And so all these tracks are on 25 Wild and the Freak on SoundCloud. If you're into what we're doing here, we'd love it if you hit the support button at 99 cents, at $4.99 and $9.99 a month. And if you want to be a guest on a program, leave a voice memo with your Instagram username for direct message. That's our preferred method. And then we'll get in touch with you. We're doing the show, usually for musicians, we don't charge anything. But we do have a video podcast that we do have the ability to finally go live. So if you go on the video podcast, a little more involved. We are charging $50 for that. We've got our PayPal Me. We go through StreamYard, and we're live on Facebook on our Facebook channel when we do that. And then we also convert it to Anchor so that you get an audio version of it on 11 podcast platforms. So we think that you would like that. That's a pretty good option. So again, 25 Wild and Freak is out there on SoundCloud right now. Our latest album, Phantom Electric Ghost, the EP, is doing very well. We got 22,000 listens worldwide. I got the single Disconnected Youth. Got a good write-up on Music Gateway. So check that link out and check out our music, and we'll love to talk to you again. Thank you for listening to Phantom Electric Ghost. This is Josephine Electric signing out. This is Josephine Electric. Voting isn't just going to the polls on election day anymore. Options like early voting, mail-in voting, and ballot drop boxes are available to more voters and are growing in popularity. How to Vote, a tool created by Democracy Works, breaks down the options in your state for offers casting a ballot, empowering you to decide where and when to vote. Democracy works best when we all vote, but misinformation and confusion about election procedures have resulted in low voter turnout. How to Vote, a tool created by Democracy Works, takes the guesswork out of voting process. How to Vote is easy to use and helps folks from all over the country overcome many of the processes and barriers to voting. Democracy Works is committed to helping you vote no matter what. So you should sign up for election reminders, see what's on your ballot, get step-by-step assistance requesting your mail-in ballot, explore options for returning your voted mail ballot, check your voter registration status, find out where your polling site is, and make sure you have the appropriate ID. Decide where and when you want to vote this year at How to Vote. Thank you.
You made it big, you're 25 years old. You made it big 'cause you sold. you sold all that blow to all the victims that you know. And you're not even 25 years old. You made it 'cause of who you don't know. You made it 'cause you sold all that blow to the victims you don't even really know. You made it 'cause you don't control the whole in your soul. You made it 'cause you sold that blood to all the victims not even 25 years old. You made it 'cause of who you do and don't know. You made it 'cause you got behind the golden rope, the front stage at the show, showing what you hold. You made it 'cause you're not even 25 years old. You made it 'cause you sold all that blow to all the victims you do and you don't know. You made it to front stage at the show. You rip it off in the bowl. Do it, you pick it off again to go. Do it, you rip it off again to blow. You're not even 25 years old. You made it 'cause you're spinning on all those souls. Your mind's all blown. You kinda didn't know, but everyone needs to know. The kind of girl nobody needs to know. You made it past the golden road to the front of the show. You make it out of what you hold and what you don't. You're not even 25 years old. You got it up to know. Don't you know you shouldn't be your own dog? And past the golden road, front stage selling on what you can hold. You made it past the golden road to the show. You made it front stage, so all you can hold. You're not even 25 years old. But you disown your own soul.